This video will help to show you how to collaborate and present with D3 Collaboration Oktopus software. Firstly, make sure that all the software is downloaded onto your D3 interactive touchscreen display. If you do not have the software, please contact your reseller or distributor. You can connect and collaborate with a number of different devices. This includes connecting and collaborating through a web browser, which will allow you to connect and collaborate through a number of different platforms. Additionally, you can also download the Wisdom Notes app. This is available on Google Play, the Apple Store, and also the Windows Phone Store too. Also, please make sure that the Easy Connect technology software is downloaded. This will enable you to use your Easy Pen with the software too. After loading up your D3 Collaboration Oktopus software, go to the Systems tray. In the Systems tray, there should be a Wisdom Tools app. Click that and select Participants. Once this is selected, you can begin to make a participant list for your students. This will enable them to be assigned an ID that will allow them to connect to the session through their devices. The next page will allow you to select an available template. Here you can begin to edit your lists by adding or removing fields that you need. Additionally, if a field is not available, you can add a custom field too. Finally, a list will be generated and you can begin to input your students' information into the correct fields. Each student will automatically be assigned a participant ID. If you'd like to change this to something else, you can. Each student will need to know their assigned participant ID to be able to log in to a session through their device. Each list can be saved and used repeatedly. Now it's time to start a session. What you need to do is click on the settings icon in the top left-hand corner and then select Start Presentation. The presentation setup screen should now appear. Here you can change your settings. In the participant list option, you can select a previously made participant list, or you can start the session anonymously. This means that a participant ID is not required to connect and collaborate. Next, a report will be generated after every session. Here you can decide where that report is saved. In the Present As section, you can decide on the presentation configuration. Additionally, you can change some of the settings here too and decide if you would like to time your session as well. Next, the login settings allow you to configure how your participants log in and interact. After each session, a report is generated. Here in chart settings, you can decide how that report is generated and also how the report looks. Finally, in device settings, you can configure your device. In here, please make sure that the Enable Local Network Communication box is checked before you start a session. Now to begin a session, press OK. Your session should now begin to load. After the load is complete, a small bar should appear at the top of the screen. Once your session has begun, you can begin to connect with external devices. You can do this through the web browser by entering the IP address at the top, or you can do it through the Wisdom Notes app, which you can download. Unless this is an anonymous session, participants will need their participant ID to be able to interact and collaborate. You can view the participant list by clicking on the participant icon. Once the participants have logged on, a list of who is connected will start to generate here. Make sure to check the box next to the participant to allow them to collaborate. If you want to stop a participant from collaborating, uncheck the box next to their name. If you start a session anonymously, participants will just be numbers and not names. Once your participants are connected, you can then begin to collaborate. I'll show an example using the maths tools. We can create a mathematics equation by dragging and dropping the numbers and the symbols onto the screen. Once you've made your equation, an arrow icon will appear. Make sure that that icon is selected. This will enable you to collaborate with the connected devices. You can choose a participant at random to answer the question, or you can get all the devices to answer them separately. The percentage bar at the top of the screen will indicate what percentage of the class have answered the question. By selecting the View Response icon at the top, you can get up-to-date feedback on the lesson. Here you can view participant responses and also break down statistics and answer reports. Additionally, you can use the Repose icon to re-ask the question or to stop participants from answering the question. Throughout your sessions, whenever you see the interactive arrow icon, you can pose questions to students or participants connected to the session. To end the session, simply select Settings and End Presentation. You can also save the content on the board and the lesson by closing the software down and selecting Save As. This will allow you to reopen the lesson at a later date and re-edit the content as well. Once the software is closed down, you can then begin to view the reports. Using the report generator, you can generate a variety of different reports. These allow you to access important information about how well your students have been doing during your lessons. All of the generated reports can be saved as PDF, printed, or emailed. Additionally, you can reopen any session again by finding the file and double-clicking on it. This will allow you to open the same session with the same content saved on screen.